You know what I mean? And it seems like it's been well received by the appraisers themselves. I know that most of them had either worked with Real Wide or worked with other systems. Yes, exactly. So I think that they're kind of used to that system working within it. And obviously, you know this, but we're also using it for our inspections too, to order those. So I think that has also made that process simpler.
Okay. Yeah, I always like to know, like, and this might be a better question for Heather, but I'm sure you can chip in on what she's kind of, you know, gave you some feedback on. But like, what's it like going from using Outlook and Excel and then going to a system like YouConnect? Like, where do you think most of the efficiencies come in for you and your team?
I will tell you that the most efficiency comes in the fact of, I think primarily that it produces the engagement. Right, it sends out the bids kind of thing. So when, from our standpoint, if we have the loan officer that's put in most of the data already, and we just have to kind of go in there and make sure that looks good and all that kind of thing, and just the ability to go in there and click, 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 and send the solicitation, and then you get that back, and then just engage the bid without creating the engagement letter. The engagement letters, it sounds like it wasn't that bad a deal. It took you 10, 15 minutes to do an engagement letter. But when you are doing dozens of them,
right,
you know, over the course of a couple of weeks, that adds up and takes a lot of time, and it's more secretarial. So, you know, it was always one of those things, even though we had a template and we had a lot of the stuff baked in there and we were just deleting names instead of typing them in every single time, we were just deleting the ones that we didn't. You still had to take the time to do it, and then you had to take the time to send it out, and you had to take the time to get the DocuSign back. You know what I mean? All that stuff adds up. So to me, that's been the biggest efficiency. I would say that the second biggest efficiency comes from having that trail of communication all be in one spot. You know what I mean? The fact that I can go in there and I can see, oh, this was the email that was sent, you know, and we use the correspondence, and that where you can put like a note even to the file. We use that quite a bit. So, and it's been very handy too, that when like Heather has gone off on vacation, it takes me maybe, you know, an hour or so of looking through each one of these still, you know, the in-process files to figure out exactly where it's at. But I can then step into her shoes pretty easy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I still probably am not doing it completely right. She's working on doing like a user manual for us, so that, you know, like if she is off sick or something, or if she steps on vacation, she can just hand over the user manual. Because there was a couple times like she'd come back and I'd be like, I don't know if I did it exactly the way you're doing it, but I got it done. You know, because there was like more than one way to do some of the processes kind of thing. But because just the fact that I can still keep the work moving in the right direction, despite her leaving, which I could do that before, but it was not something that was very easy for me to manage while still doing my day job. You know, trying to pick up that whole other job, which was already demanding more than 40 hours a week, and then still trying to do my job, you know, was a little bit more. Where now I can sit there and say I can easily solicit bids, I can easily do an engagement letter, at least to keep some of the process moving while she's out. Yeah.
So that's all big stuff, isn't it? I think.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. We've been happy with it, and I would have to say that the support team, like Sunda and everyone, was just excellent to work with. You know, whenever we have a question, like, you know, there's a woman who runs the inspections, and she'll say, well, how do I do this? And I'll look real quick, and if I can't figure it out, I was like, just ask their help team. I said, because they've been always really, really good about getting back quickly to us, which we appreciate.
Well, that was actually my next question. I was going to ask you how the experience was working with Sandra and her support team, but
yeah, it's been great. Yeah, it's been really good, and she's been very good about just to come out and say, no, can't do that. You know, and that's fine. I mean, but she's helped us try to figure out if there's a workaround too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I don't think we've gotten anything yet that there hasn't been a workaround. And Heather is pretty demanding, I will have to say. She's pretty demanding. So I mean, I kind of felt bad some days, you know what I mean? Because she'd be like, I want this kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to see if you can do it or not. You know, but I think that even if the system was not necessarily set up for ideal for what Heather had in mind, we found solutions to the problem. So it's been good.
Good. No, they appreciate the feedback because that typically drives the whole roadmap over here, client suggestions, and if it's something that's going to benefit multiple banks, it typically gets put on the development roadmap.
Yeah.
My last question, and this is kind of the main thing we go for over at my company, is would you recommend YouConnect to another bank, and
Yes,
why?
I would. Yes, I would. And the reason why is because of the efficiencies I think that can be gained. Especially, obviously I can't say recommend you over another company. I mean, we've never used anyone, but if there's still banks out there, and I know that there are that are our size that have not moved to a system yet, to me, the cost of the system is very reasonable given the efficiencies that you're going to get from it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because I was looking at the point where I was going to have to hire another full-time employee. Right. And by getting the system, I have probably kicked that can down the road by a year, maybe 2 years at this point. You know what I mean? I still would like to find an assistant for Heather. I think she definitely could use it. But when Howell, we took on the new bank, they also had some of their appraisals were reviewed outside. So we've also used that a little bit too, to give her some support. So we've turned her job into something that really wasn't long-term sustainable. She was just barely treading water, keeping her head above. But now she feels, I think, more comfortable that she can spend the time when it's needed because she's got the backup, the support, and the efficiencies baked into the now current system to be able to do so.
Okay. Well, that's all.